How's it going, everybody? You're about to watch one of my narrated Pokemon Wi-Fi battle videos today. This is Trainer Caller 100 narrating this battle. This is an OE match I had with Necrostevo. Make sure you go check out his YouTube channel because he has some pretty awesome content and all of that. I'm actually going to be pretty busy this entire week, guys, because I have camp going on, and I am going to be going to places that are relatively interesting. So, I'll be busy for a little while, but I'll have a few uploads for you guys, so that should be awesome. This is an OE match, like I said. He's actually testing out a Sandstorm team, which is like, oh, I want to try out a Sandstorm team too, because his selection of Pokemon are so great. Like you see a Hippowdon here. He had an Espeon like you saw a minute ago. And he also has a Stoutland. So it's like, I want to try out those Pokemon too. But I have my own Pokemon to work around with. But anyways though, I start off with my Primate who's Choice Scarf. I wanted to get some damage onto Espeon, so I just go straight for U-turn. And I go into Mythulus. Now the reason I went into this thing is because Hippowdon can carry Stealth Rocks, so it would be best to just go into it right away, so that means I don't have to worry about any entry hazards going into my HP and all that. So, but unfortunately, I go for Quiver Dance, and he roars me out into this Pacifica here, which is my Vaporeon, who's a Wish Toxic Stalling set, which actually works out pretty nicely in my opinion. Now I was expecting him to set up the rocks, so I go back into Mythulus. See? That's what I'm talking about. I want to get him in here without taking any damage. And instead of setting up here, I decided to go with Bug Buzz. I was expecting him to roar again, because he has the rocks up and I could just go back into Mythulus and take up most of my health from the entry hazards, but he goes for Earthquake. And I can take that, which is very nice in my opinion. So that means I can take it out. But for some reason, I just go for Fiery Dance, just trying to get a special attack boost. He switches into Gastrodon. I'm not really sure if he expected that, but like, seriously, I don't know why I went into Fiery Dance like that. But I get up the entry hazard, or no, the special attack boost, and I die to my recoil. So that is a little unfortunate. So now we have Gastrodon here, which I actually like the nickname. It's a Syrinxa, which is Syrinx, which is a slug, which is on the bottom of the sea that has a shell on its back. But of course, when you insert A, you have Asyrinxa, which means it's not that slug that has a shell on its back and it goes in the ocean. And so he switches into Espeon again. I go into Emperor here, which is my new superior that I bred and trained. Wanted to test him out. This is a coil set carrying Leaf Seed, Coil, Dragon Tail, and Leaf Blade, which is carrying a Lumberry as well. So, expecting him to set up Leg Screen, I go with another Coil because, no, I think it's Reflect. Sorry about that, guys. It's Reflect. And I wanted to Coil up again because I wanted to get up some extra power in there, so that means I can bypass the Reflect. So that actually did okay damage. Of course, that would have been less if I hadn't gone for that Coil again. But I switched out into Latios expecting Psychic again. He actually goes for it. But unfortunately, he has to get that critical hit. Which, it doesn't really do much really, but of course I was like, ugh, why did he get that critical hit? But I was expecting him to go with the Leg Screen here, so I'm going to go into Draco Meteor and just wipe him out. So that works out. Solaire, you did pretty well. Of course, the nickname is from Dark Souls, according to Necrostevo, because I watch his videos every day, and I study his movesets and all that. And that's one way I get to, you know, battle very well with him, because, you know, I want to know what sets he's carrying. I want to know how to play around that. Anyway, so what am I talking about? Let's get back to the battle. I go into Victor again, who's Choice Scarfed. He brings in Torterra, and he shows me Rock Polish, which means I can still outspeed it, which is fantastic because Torterra is rather slow in my opinion. I get a critical hit on that U-turn, which is like, whoa, that's fantastic. But here, I go into lick. I said lick. It's slick. Alright, so I don't know why I went into muck right here. He goes for earthquake. I should have gone into Loxios, but I messed up. But fortunately for me, he has a life orb, which means he's gonna die to his recoil. So yeah, we have a double down. Best times of downs, everybody. I was expecting him to go back into Hippowdon here, so go into Loxios, and expecting him, or I don't know, he's probably using it for Deathfogger, but I should have gone for Surf, because I know I have Surf on this Loxios, whose choice specs, so yay, we have Scotland here, who's gonna outspeed me and just nail me with a critical hit retaliate. Great. But fortunately for me, I have, wow, what am I talking about? He has his reflect wear off, which is fantastic, and I'm not gonna U-turn out again, so we're gonna go straight for close combat and just nail this Asteroinsa here, the Gastrodon. But I actually did pretty good, a pretty good amount of damage right there, and that means I can outspeed it and knock him out. So Gastrodon doesn't really do anything in this match as far as I'm concerned, but that doesn't matter in my case because I don't want Asteroinsa in the battlefield because it's so bulky. I know, that's kind of stupid on my part, but yay, we have him out, which is fantastic, but unfortunately, he runs back in Scotland, who can outspeed me and just nail me with a Retaliate. Of course, Retaliate doubles in power once your Pokemon gets knocked out, or one of your Pokemon gets knocked out. So, I go into Pacifica here, thinking that I can take at least one Retaliate, but we're not going to find out because Neko is going to switch into Gigalith. I really like Gigalith. It's a very awesome Pokemon. It has sturdy, it has great bulk, great attack game power, and it's just so freaking awesome. But I'm not really sure what set he's carrying though, which is why I go for Skull. Maybe he's an offensive one, maybe he's a defensive one who's not carrying Stealth Rock because, as you saw earlier, the Palgon had Stealth Rock. So I do not get the Skull, but I think I get a critical hit, or maybe I do in the next turn. But that actually did a great amount of damage. It's fantastic. But of course, I don't get the burn, which sucks. But it doesn't really matter. He rests, which is a clue to what his set is. He might have Sleep Talk. Now here I get a critical hit, which is fantastic, because that means I can just go for another Scald and knock him out. But here he shows his Sleep Talk and he goes for Rock Slide. And I know I can take one of those, barring a critical hit. But he doesn't get it, which is fantastic. That means I can take one more Rock Slide, most likely. But for some reason I go for Ice Beam. Not really sure why I did that. I was probably expecting him to switch. But why would he do that? Because Gigalith is so slow and he has Curse, so yeah, pretty stupid on my part, but I'd like to see him curse up to death, I suppose, because he's gonna die to the Skull. So yep, I want to train a Gigalith. Maybe a Stealth Rock variant, maybe an offensive one. I can't get my ideas, but I want to train a Gigalith because they're so awesome. I used to have a Gigalith, but it wasn't Pokegen correctly, so I released it. So yep, I did that. I am a very weird person. But anyways, he brings back in Scotland. He's been a bane in my existence this entire battle, which means I need to train one. Of course, I have a Lillipup I need to train, so it could be a good idea. Of course, he gets a critical hit on that Retaliate, just to make things so more death-like, I suppose. But my last Pokemon is Emperor, the superior. It rhymes. Fantastic. And yeah, there we go. Scotland proves to be very awesome. And I lose the battle. Alright, well, that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this battle, make sure you like and make sure you check out Necrostevo's channel. I'll see you guys in a little while. Take care.